What if I told you that the harder you chase something, the further it runs? We scroll, we compare. We push ourselves to exhaustion, believing that force brings results. But the truth is brutal. Control doesn't create peace, it destroys it. For centuries, the Stoics knew this secret. Power comes not from tension, but from alignment. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Accept whatever comes to you woven in the pattern of your destiny." The moment you relax, truly relax, you stop fighting life and start flowing with it. Today, we'll uncover 8 Stoic laws that prove how calm, surrender, and stillness aren't weakness. They're the highest form of strength, like comment and stay until the end. Because once you understand these laws, you'll stop chasing and start manifesting everything meant for you. 1. Let go of control. What if I told you that the tighter you hold on to life, the more it slips through your fingers? We spend our days chasing control over time, people, outcomes, even emotions, as if the entire world must bend to our plans. Yet the harder we try to command reality, the more anxious and disconnected we become. Deep inside, we know it. Control is an illusion dressed as safety. We mistake tension for power, effort for mastery, and in doing so, we lose the very peace we're trying to build. 2,000 years ago, Epictetus whispered a truth most people still resist today. Some things are in our control and others not. He didn't say it as a resignation, but as liberation. Because the moment you stop fighting what's beyond your reach, you rediscover the space where real power lives. Inside your own response, you realize that serenity isn't found in dominating the storm, but in learning how to stand still while it rages. Modern life tells us the opposite. It glorifies hustle, perfection, the endless chase for outcomes. But look closer. Every time you force something, a relationship, a career, even healing itself, it resists you. And every time you soften, things begin to align. The Stoics called this alignment with nature, a deep harmony between your will and the unfolding of the universe. It's not passivity, it's intelligent surrender. It's the art of giving your full effort without clinging to the result. Marcus Aurelius, an emperor who commanded armies and yet could not command fate, wrote, "If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it." In those words lies a quiet revolution. Life is not what happens to you, it's how you interpret it. The moment you stop demanding that the world obey your timeline, you start to see things as they are, not as your fears paint them to be. Imagine holding water in your hands. When you squeeze too tightly, it escapes through your fingers. But when you relax, it rests effortlessly in your palm. Life moves in the same way. When you let go of control, you don't lose power, you gain it. Because calm is not weakness, it is magnetism. It draws the right people, the right opportunities, the right moments toward you without the noise of desperation. Stillness sharpens perception. When your mind is no longer frantically trying to force outcomes, clarity returns. You begin to act from intention, not anxiety. And ironically, that's when things start to work. Life responds to a calm mind, the way a mirror reflects a steady gaze. It aligns perfectly. So the first Stoic law for manifesting anything is not about pushing harder. It's about letting go. Focus on what you can influence, your discipline, your integrity, your daily effort, and surrender everything else to the natural rhythm of life. Because the truth is simple. You were never meant to control everything. You were meant to master yourself. Tonight, write down 2 lists. On the left, what you can control. On the right, what you cannot. Read the second list once, then release it completely. And when that old tension returns, whisper this to yourself: I act with intention. I release expectation. When you stop forcing, life starts flowing. The world doesn't resist you anymore. It starts to meet you halfway, because the universe doesn't reward control, it rewards alignment. 2. Calm is the ultimate magnet. Have you noticed how anxiety chases away everything you desire? The more restless you become, the more distant peace, success, and love seem to drift. We think we must chase them down, fight harder, prove our worth. But life has a quieter law. Nothing truly meant for you will ever need to be forced. Calm is not the absence of motion. It's the mastery of energy. It's the moment you stop scattering your attention everywhere and let it gather within you like a steady flame. The Stoics understood that calmness is not passive, it's power contained. Marcus Aurelius ruled an empire while surrounded by chaos, betrayal, and war, yet he wrote, "The nearer a man comes to a calm mind, the closer he is to strength." He knew what modern people forget, that your state of mind doesn't just color your world, it creates it. Every decision you make in agitation carries the vibration of fear. Every decision you make in calm carries the vibration of truth. When you are calm, you magnetize. Your presence feels grounded. People trust you without knowing why. Opportunities flow toward you because your energy communicates stability in a world addicted to noise. Calm is your invisible message that says, "I'm not desperate, I'm prepared." And the world listens. Desperation repels, dignity attracts. This is not spiritual poetry, it's energetic reality. Think about it. When someone clings, argues, or over-explains, don't you instinctively withdraw? But when someone speaks few words with composure, you lean in. That's the magnetic law of calm. Modern society rewards speed, but speed without direction leads nowhere. We are trained to react instantly, to text back, to defend, to fix. But every impulsive reaction is an admission that something else controls us. Calm, on the other hand, is the art of pausing before you respond. It's the microsecond of mastery between stimulus and action, the moment where wisdom chooses your next move instead of ego. The Stoics practiced it every day. Pause, breathe, observe. Only then, act. Calmness is not something you find. It's something you train. It's the discipline of returning to your breath again and again until your mind learns that silence is safety. The world will always test you. Traffic, arguments, losses, misunderstandings. But each test is an invitation to prove that you can stay still while others shake. And each time you succeed, your energy deepens, like a lake becoming still after the storm. That depth is magnetic. It makes others feel safe near you, and it makes life unfold with less resistance. Seneca wrote that to be calm is the highest achievement of the self. Because when you are calm, you can see the hidden patterns that chaos blinds you from. You recognize who is truly aligned with you and who only thrives in your turbulence. You hear the voice of intuition that was drowned by noise. You become your own compass. So when your mind begins to race, remember this. Calm is not something to wait for. It's something to create. Take one breath, slow it down, and say quietly, "I am grounded. I am safe. I don't chase, I attract." Feel how your shoulders drop, how your heartbeat steadies, how your mind opens. In that space, clarity returns. And once clarity returns, everything else knows where to find you. Calm is not weakness, it is command. It's the posture of someone who has nothing to prove and everything to protect. It's the power that doesn't shout, but rearranges the room without a word. The more you cultivate it, the more you'll see that peace isn't the reward, it's the source. So remember this second Stoic law. Calm is the ultimate magnet. You don't have to run after what's already on its way. When you learn to be still, life moves toward you. 3. Trust the process, not the timing. Impatience is the hidden poison of our generation. We live in a culture that worships speed, fast money, instant validation, overnight success. We are told that if something isn't happening now, it's because we're doing something wrong. But the truth is far older and far quieter. Everything unfolds when it's ready, not when you are restless. Life has its rhythm, its seasons, its timing, and no amount of force can rush the harvest before it's due. The Stoics called this acceptance of divine order amor fati, to love your fate, not just tolerate it. Seneca once wrote, "What need is there to weep over parts of life? The whole of it calls for tears." He wasn't being bitter. He was being free. He understood that growth hides inside delay, that waiting is not wasted time, but the furnace where patience and wisdom are forged. To a restless mind, stillness feels like punishment, but to a disciplined soul, stillness is preparation. Think about how nature works. The seed doesn't fight the soil, nor does it demand the sun to arrive sooner. It simply roots itself deeper in darkness until the light comes. And when it finally breaks through, it does so effortlessly, because everything within it was quietly aligning for that moment. You are no different. The universe is not ignoring you, it's organizing you. Every pause, every delay, every not yet is a test of faith in your own becoming. Marcus Aurelius understood this deeply. As emperor, he carried the weight of an entire empire, yet he wrote, "No great thing is created suddenly." Those words are not just philosophy, they are instruction. He was reminding himself that the process is sacred, that outcomes are never random. They are the result of countless invisible steps that unfold in perfect sequence. Your only task is to keep walking that path, even when the destination disappears in the fog. When we trust the process, we release the anxiety of time. We stop measuring our worth by how fast we arrive and start asking a better question. Who am I becoming along the way? Because life is not keeping score of your speed. It's shaping your character through every moment you must wait. The waiting itself is the training. It refines your patience, humbles your ego, and strengthens your resilience. Every delay that once frustrated you becomes the proof that you were being prepared, not punished. But trusting the process doesn't mean doing nothing. It means doing what you can, as best as you can, without the poison of urgency. It means building the habit, making the call, practicing the craft, showing up every day, then stepping back and allowing the universe to move in its time. It's a delicate balance between discipline and surrender, between effort and faith. When you live like this, peace begins to replace panic. You no longer beg for outcomes. You build the foundation that will attract them naturally. You start to understand that what's meant for you will arrive when you have become the person capable of holding it. Until then, patience is not waiting, it's becoming. So when you feel lost or delayed, remember, every timeline you envy is just an illusion. Every success you admire took years of unseen labor, nights of doubt, days of silence. You are not behind, you are in progress. Tonight, when your thoughts begin to race about what hasn't happened yet, whisper this to yourself. I trust the process. I release the clock. Because the truth is, the universe is never late. It's simply moving at the speed of your growth. 4. Accept what you can't change. There comes a moment in every life when resistance becomes unbearable. You've tried to fix it, control it, rewrite it, but reality refuses to move. That's the moment when the Stoics invite you to stop fighting and start seeing. Acceptance isn't giving up. It's the quiet recognition that life was never meant to obey your will. It's not weakness, it's wisdom. The truth is, most of our pain doesn't come from what happens to us, but from our refusal to let it be. We suffer twice, once in reality and again in imagination. Marcus Aurelius understood this as he wrote in his journal, "The universe is change. Our life is what our thoughts make of it." He faced betrayal, sickness, and loss. Yet every time he returned to the same realization, Peace begins the moment you stop demanding the world to be something it is not. Acceptance doesn't mean you approve of everything. It means you refuse to let what's beyond your control steal your inner clarity. Modern minds confuse acceptance with apathy, but the two are worlds apart. Apathy is numbness. Acceptance is awareness. It's the strength to say, "This is what stands before me, and I will meet it as it is." Epictetus, once a slave with a broken leg, taught that even suffering can become a teacher if you let it. He couldn't control his body being chained, but he mastered the one thing no one could touch: his response. And that's what freedom really is. Not control over life, but control over the meaning you give to it. We live in a culture addicted to fixing our looks, our past, our emotions, even other people. We call it improvement, but much of it is fear wearing a noble disguise. The Stoic path asks for something braver: to sit in the fire without scrambling for escape, to let the storm pass without cursing the sky. When you stop trying to make everything fair, you begin to understand that life has never been unfair. It has simply been impartial. It moves according to laws older than your plans, and the sooner you align with them, the sooner you find peace. Acceptance doesn't make pain vanish, but it transforms its texture. It turns bitterness into understanding, chaos into clarity. When you accept what is, your energy stops leaking into battles you can't win and returns to what you can influence. Your attitude, your discipline, your choices. That's where real power lives. Every ounce of energy you reclaim from resistance becomes fuel for transformation. Imagine standing in the ocean. If you fight the waves, you drown. But if you learn to float, the same force that terrified you now carries you forward. Life works exactly like that. Acceptance isn't submission, it's learning how to float in the sea of what is. The more you fight, the more you sink. The more you release, the more life lifts you. So tonight, when something doesn't go your way, when a plan collapses, when someone disappoints you, when the world doesn't follow your rhythm, breathe. Feel the resistance rise, and then soften. Whisper this quietly. This moment is not against me, it's shaping me. You'll feel something shift. Not in the world, but inside you. That's the Stoic alchemy of acceptance. It doesn't change what happened. It changes who you become because of it. 5. Stillness builds strength. The world keeps telling you that strength looks loud, that it's found in ambition, dominance, and constant movement. But the Stoics knew a different truth. Strength is not in motion, it's in stillness. The ability to stay composed while everything around you shakes is the highest form of power. When life grows chaotic, the ordinary man reacts. The Stoic pauses. That pause is not weakness. It's the space where clarity is born. Seneca wrote, "Nothing, to my way of thinking, is a better proof of a well-ordered mind than a man's ability to stop just where he is and pass some time in his own company." Stillness is not the absence of action. It's the mastery of self. It's when your mind becomes so calm that no noise from the outside can distort your inner direction. You begin to realize that movement without purpose is chaos, but stillness with awareness is command. We live in an age of overstimulation. Our minds are constantly being pulled. Notifications, arguments, opinions, endless choices. We scroll through chaos and wonder why we feel lost. We've forgotten that silence is not emptiness. It's the soil where strength takes root. When you sit still, even for a few minutes, you start hearing the voice beneath the noise. The one that already knows what you need to do. That voice is drowned not by the world, but by your own restlessness. Marcus Aurelius, a man who ruled an empire in crisis, found his strength not in conquest but in contemplation. Each morning, he would write in silence before dawn, preparing his soul for the battles of the day. His wars were won not on the field, but in the quiet of his mind. He understood that if you conquer your inner chaos, no external storm can move you. Stillness doesn't make you soft, it makes you unshakable. Think of the calm before a storm. The air holds its breath, the sky stills, and in that stillness, power gathers. That's what stillness does within you. It concentrates your strength. When you no longer react to every distraction, you preserve energy for what truly matters. You respond from reason, not impulse. You act from wisdom, not fear. Stillness is also an act of rebellion. In a world addicted to noise, choosing silence is an act of defiance. It's saying, I don't need to prove my existence by being busy. It's reclaiming your time, your mind, your presence. It's realizing that peace is not something you find at the end of activity. It's something you build in the middle of it. Try this. The next time you feel overwhelmed, don't rush for distraction. Don't open another app. Don't fill the silence. Sit. Close your eyes. Listen to your breath until it slows. Notice how your thoughts race, then begin to settle, like dust in sunlight. In that space, you'll find something rare, yourself. And the moment you return to that center, life begins to make sense again. Strength isn't in the volume of your voice, but in the steadiness of your spirit. The calm man is the strongest man in the room because he cannot be provoked, bought, or broken. The world moves around him, but he stands anchored, like a mountain in the wind. So remember this. The louder the world gets, the more powerful your silence becomes. You don't need to match its chaos, you only need to master your own stillness. Because from that stillness, everything else, peace, clarity, power, naturally flows. 6. Don't chase, align. We spend our lives chasing love, success, validation, peace, believing that what we want is always somewhere ahead of us, just one effort away. We run faster, work harder, push longer, yet somehow the more we chase, the further everything seems to drift. The Stoics would call this the tragedy of pursuit, the endless running away from the present moment. Because the truth is, you never chase what's truly yours. You simply become aligned with it. When you chase, you act from lack. You send a silent message to the universe that says, I don't have it, so I must pursue it. But when you align, you act from wholeness. You move with the quiet confidence of someone who already belongs to the rhythm of life. This is not magical thinking. It's emotional physics. Energy follows intention. The frantic mind repels. The calm mind attracts. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, everything that happens, happens as it should. It wasn't a statement of resignation, but of trust. He believed that if you do your duty with integrity, the right outcomes will unfold in their time. Alignment doesn't mean inaction. It means right action. Action done from inner harmony, not desperation. The man who is aligned still works, still strives, still builds. But his energy feels different. It's not frantic. It's focused. It's not about control, but contribution. Think about a musician who forces the rhythm. The sound becomes noise. But when he surrenders to the tempo, his music flows effortlessly. That's what happens when you stop chasing. Life begins to harmonize with you because you've tuned yourself to its frequency. You become synchronized with reality rather than fighting it. Chasing comes from fear. Fear of being left behind. Fear of not being enough. Fear of losing what you think you need. But alignment comes from faith. Faith that the right things will meet you when you become the person ready to hold them. You don't attract what you want. You attract what you are. So the work is not to run faster, but to become still enough to hear where life wants you to go next. The Stoics lived by the law of alignment with nature. Zeno, the founder of Stoicism, taught that happiness is found when your will and nature's will move in the same direction. When you chase, you move against that current, exhausted, impatient, scattered. When you align, you flow with it, steady, deliberate, peaceful. And in that flow, things begin to unfold almost mysteriously. Not because fate suddenly favors you, but because you finally stopped resisting it. Look at the moments in your life when everything seemed effortless. When the right person appeared, when the right door opened, when the timing felt perfect. Did you chase those moments? Or did they arrive when you were finally centered, when you stopped trying so hard? The universe moves like water. It flows toward openness, not tension. So stop running. Walk with purpose. Breathe slower. Speak less. Do the work that's in front of you and let go of how it must unfold. You'll find that the things you once chased begin to circle back. Not because you demanded them, but because your energy finally matches their frequency. The next time you feel the urge to force something, pause and ask, am I chasing or am I aligning? Let that question be your compass, because the more you align with truth, the less you need to pursue it. It begins to find you. You don't chase the sunrise, you rise with it. You don't force the tide, you move with it. The Stoics knew this long before modern philosophy gave it a name. Flow. Alignment is not about getting everything you want. It's about becoming so at peace with what you are that everything meant for you recognizes you when it arrives. So remember, don't chase, align. Because the moment you stop running, life finally has the space to catch up to you. 7. Patience is power. We've been taught that patience is a weakness, a sign of hesitation in a world that glorifies urgency. Yet the Stoics saw patience for what it truly is, the highest expression of strength. Anyone can act in haste. Only the powerful can wait. Waiting does not mean doing nothing. It means knowing that some forces are already moving on your behalf, quietly, invisibly, in the background of your life. Impatience comes from fear, fear that time will forget you, that life will pass you by, that the things you desire will slip away if you don't run after them. But patience is born of trust. It's the steady heartbeat that says, I can endure the silence because I know the seed is already planted. The Stoics called this endurance of time amor fati, to love one's fate, to love even the waiting. They believed that fate is not something to fight, but something to cooperate with. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "No great thing is created suddenly." He ruled an empire under constant pressure, yet he knew that rushing a process ruins it. A fruit picked before it ripens is sour. A man who forces his destiny before he's ready destroys it. Every challenge that delays you is shaping you. Every pause is polishing your strength. The universe has never been late. Only you have been impatient. Seneca called time the most precious resource and warned that we waste it not by losing it, but by resenting it. When you live in resentment of how long things take, you poison your own present. But when you practice patience, time becomes your ally. You begin to see that waiting is not a gap between opportunities. It is the opportunity, the place where you build emotional endurance, discipline, and grace. Think of the river carving through rock. It doesn't demand instant change. It shapes the stone with quiet persistence. That's how patience works. It doesn't shout, it doesn't beg. It just moves, calmly, faithfully, until mountains surrender. The man who embodies that patience becomes unstoppable because he no longer fights time, he flows with it. Patience also teaches you humility. It reminds you that life's timeline is wiser than your plans. Every unanswered prayer, every delay, every detour is not a punishment, but a preparation. There are doors that will open only when you have grown strong enough to walk through them. The universe waits for you to become ready, not the other way around. So when frustration rises, when things move slower than you hoped, when progress feels invisible, breathe. Remind yourself that growth often happens in silence. Trees don't make a sound while they grow, yet they break the hardest ground to reach the sun. Your evolution works the same way. The absence of visible change does not mean absence of progress. Every great Stoic knew this. Strength without patience is just aggression. True power is calm endurance, the ability to hold your ground without losing your center. You don't need to rush toward what's meant for you. You need to become patient enough to receive it without breaking when it arrives. Tonight, when you feel like you're falling behind, whisper softly, "Nothing truly mine can miss me." Then rest, not in exhaustion, but in faith. Because patience is not waiting for life to change. It's changing within while life catches up. Patience is not stillness, it's strength disguised as peace. It is the quiet confidence that your time will come. And when it does, you'll be ready, steady, and unshakable. 8. Flow with nature, not against it. Everything in this world moves according to a rhythm. The tides, the seasons, the rise and fall of empires, even the beating of your own heart. Yet the human mind, in its arrogance, keeps trying to rewrite that rhythm. We want spring and winter, harvest before planting, love without loss, growth without pain. We resist what is in the name of what should be, and in doing so, we fracture ourselves from nature, from reality itself. The Stoics saw this resistance as the root of all suffering. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Live in agreement with nature, not because it's poetic, but because it's practical. Nature doesn't rush, yet everything gets done. The river doesn't fight the rocks, it flows around them. The tree doesn't resist the wind, it bends, and by bending, it survives. And so must we. The more we try to command life, the more we suffer. The more we learn to flow with it, the more effortless it becomes." This law is not about passivity, it's about harmony. To flow with nature means to stop opposing the inevitable and to start cooperating with it. It means to recognize that the world owes you nothing, but offers you everything if you move with its current. When you stop asking, "Why is this happening to me?" and begin asking, "What is this trying to teach me?" your entire reality changes. You evolve from victim to participant, from complainer to co-creator. Seneca said that fate leads the willing and drags the unwilling. Life has two ways of teaching you, through flow or through friction. When you fight what's unfolding, you create suffering, but when you align with it, even pain becomes purpose. Every challenge, every ending, every heartbreak is part of a larger design that your limited sight can't yet comprehend. Nature is not cruel, it's corrective. It removes what no longer serves you, not to punish you, but to make space for what will. Look around you, the ocean, the stars, the turning earth. Everything operates through cycles of giving and taking, rising and falling, living and dying. To live wisely is to participate in that dance without resistance. When things end, you let them end. When things begin, you welcome them. When life is quiet, you learn. When it's loud, you listen deeper. Flow doesn't mean standing still. It means moving gracefully in the direction life is already moving. The Stoic way is the way of flow, a calm confidence that trusts the order of things. When you align your actions with virtue, your heart with gratitude, and your thoughts with reason, you become one with that order. You no longer need to manipulate outcomes because your energy is already synchronized with truth. Life begins to cooperate with you, not because you control it, but because you finally stopped resisting it. So the final Stoic law is this: flow with nature, not against it. Stop fighting time, stop blaming fate, stop arguing with what has already happened. Instead, learn to ride the current. Life will carry you exactly where you need to go. Not always where you want, but always where you must. Tomorrow morning, when you wake up, take a deep breath and whisper, "I flow with life. I trust its rhythm. I am one with the unfolding." Feel how your body softens, how your thoughts quiet, how peace returns. That is the state the Stoics lived for. Not to conquer the world, but to move in perfect harmony with it. Because when you stop resisting life, life stops resisting you. Take a breath. Let it settle. You've just walked through 8 Stoic laws. 8 keys that don't promise to make life easier, but to make you stronger. Each one is a reminder that peace isn't something you chase, it's something you remember. You were born aligned with nature, but the noise of the world made you forget. The path of Stoicism is not about changing who you are. It's about coming home to the stillness that has always been there. You learn to let go of control, to stop gripping life with fear and start holding it with grace. You learned that calm isn't weakness, it's magnetism, the kind of quiet energy that draws the right things toward you without force. You learn to trust the process and not the timing, because what's meant for you will never require you to rush. You learn to accept what you can't change and found that peace was waiting on the other side of surrender. You've seen that stillness isn't the absence of power, it's where real power is born. You've learned to stop chasing and start aligning, to move with life instead of against it. You've discovered that patience is not waiting, it's strength disguised as faith. And finally, you've remembered the greatest truth the Stoics ever taught: to live in harmony with nature, to flow with what is, to say yes to this very moment, not because it's perfect, but because it's yours. If you let these laws live inside you, you'll notice something shift. The noise will quiet, the pressure will fade. The world will still move fast, but you won't. You'll move deliberately, like a man who knows that every breath, every pause, every challenge is part of his training. You'll stop chasing meaning and start embodying it. You'll become magnetic not because you want more, but because you need less. So as you close your eyes tonight, remember this: control less, trust more, move slower, breathe deeper. You're not behind. You're exactly where you are meant to be. Becoming stronger in the silence, wiser in the waiting, calmer in the storm. The universe is not testing you, it's teaching you to align with it. Relax, trust, manifest. Because when you stop resisting life, life starts revealing its plan for you. And that plan has always been the same: to make you unshakable, peaceful, and free.